with Dillon Jones. Just got back from Chicago. Just talk about that process, going through the G League camp and then getting invited to the draft combine. What are some takeaways from that?
Yeah, it was a dope experience. Obviously, just being able to, go there and get in there and just be able to kind of display everything that I thought I could do. So I think that was a good experience. I think the biggest takeaway from it is just I was able to just show people that I guess that what I do is kind of just what I do. It's not just about levels and all of this stuff. So just know that my game's able to translate to a higher level. Obviously, there's things I got to work on, just like every other player, but I just think that I was able to show that, I'm not just a step down from everyone. I feel like I belong on that level. So.
Have you always kind of had that confidence, you discussed, your mental toughness, competitiveness, some separators. Is that something you've always had?
Yeah, I think I've always had it, and I think it's internal, and I get it from the people close around me. I got a lot of people close to me that believe in me, and I think that's where I guess the strength in that comes. It's not just like I think that, I don't like take a bunch of people's opinions into account, I guess. I just trust the people I trust most, and obviously internally, I just trust what I do in the gym every day. So I think that's where I get it from.
So kind of as you mentioned, you were kind of a last-minute invite to the G League camp. Were you kind of surprised by that, or what's your thought process that
Well, I thought I had a good year, so I thought I would get invited. That was one of my plans coming into the process, was get in one of the combines. And when I didn't, I won't say I was shocked, but my agent was kind of already telling me not a lot of teams know about you too much. So that kind of, I don't say prepped me for it, but if it happened, I wasn't gonna be too surprised. So it happened. I kind of just took it how I had to, but eventually obviously I got in, and I just think that I don't say I was surprised. I was surprised when I got in because I didn't know that they still do that. But whoever dropped out, gave me the opportunity to go in there and do what I had to do. So, thankful for it.
Yeah. What was kind of your approach after getting that initial invite?
After getting it, honestly, when I didn't get invited the first time, I kind of just took a step back and was I'm not trying to get better for other people. I'm trying to get better for myself. And I think that switch right there did it for me. And I think that was easier for when I got invited to the actual combine. Once they swung back around and invited me, it was I didn't change up anything because I was already still just working hard personally for myself at that point. It wasn't about prepping for the combine or anything like that. It was about personally trying to get, in that door. So just doing things that I know I need to get better at. If it's gonna be in the NBA or prepare at Weaver next year, that's kind of where I made the switch at. So I think when I actually got the invite, it was I just kept that same mindset, and they didn't think too much about the combine, just think about what I had to get better at each day. So.
What do you feel like you were able to show scouts over there throughout the week?
Yeah, I think I was just able to show my IQ, my versatility, and also I think the biggest thing is that I could play with other good players. I think, when you look at a lot of good players, it's got players in the camp and stuff, a lot of them, fade because it's they only can play in systems where it's about them and it's coaches drawing up all of this stuff. But I was able to show that, I'm able to just play on the court with other good players, not prideful and all of this stuff. I'm just able to, like I say, just play with other good players. And I think today's NBA, that's a big skill to have because a lot of people can't do that. They just can't. So I think that's the biggest thing I was able to show.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing that right now with Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets, guys who play unselfish, stuff like that. What goes through your mind when you're watching a team like Miami and a lot of their guys kind of enter the NBA outside of the draft? Yeah,
I think it just validates everything that I've always thought about the game. I think it's just about, the game comes down to these simple things. Everyone makes it complicated. I think it's just simple. It comes down to toughness, togetherness, and belief in each other. And I think when you see teams like Miami, they're the 8 seed, but they don't care about that. They just trying to do what they got to do to win. And Denver obviously built on continuity. Obviously they have good players, but they have their base of their team has been the same for forever. And I think seeing teams like that succeed, it just validates everything that I think is in my head that's true, which is toughness wins, togetherness wins, culture wins, things like that. So I think that's when I watch teams like that, that's what I'm able to see.
You mentioned that you kind of were an unknown guy to a lot of NBA teams, but you did have a good statistical year at Weber State. But why do you feel like you kind of flew under the radar?
Honestly don't know. I think it's probably things out of my control, maybe, I don't know. I go to a smaller school, maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but at this point, it's not even like, honestly, I don't get too emotional about it either, because I just feel like, you know, if I'm good enough, they'll come get me. If I'm not, then, you know, no one can say I didn't put my best foot forward, you know. So I have no idea why teams didn't know who I am, because I'm thinking what I did this year was, you know, I won't say special, but like I know I'm 6'6", I average like 11 rebounds. Like I know you don't come across that often, and it's like, I don't know why they didn't know who I was as much, but you know, they know now, so I guess that's all that matters.
Right, what's some of the feedback you've gotten from teams so far throughout this process?
Yeah, nothing really crazy yet, and I think a lot of that is up to like, not up to, but a lot of that is my agent's job is to gather that. When I did interviews with a lot of teams, it was more just about getting to know me process, just kind of, because like we talked about, not a lot of teams are very familiar with me, but you know, I did pop statistically, so a lot of them just wants to, you know, get to know me and things like that. So I think one big thing I did get back from teams was that, you know, I don't think they validated what I thought was like, you don't have to go to these big schools and all of this just to get noticed. You know, if you're able to get in these doors and be right here with them and do all these things, then, you know, you're right where you need to be. You know, school and all this stuff and transfer and all that doesn't really necessarily matter from their perspective. So it was good to get that feedback from them and to validate that. So.
Yeah, kind of building off of that, and I know we've discussed this, but obviously you've been, you know, a good ambassador for Weber State, very loyal to them. You know, going forward, obviously you have a decision to make in the next week or so. But you know, what is it about Weber State that you love and kind of has allowed you to stay here and flourish?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like, it reminds me a lot of like my background, I would say. Like, it's not like when I was coming up, growing up, it wasn't like a lot of things was handed to me. I didn't have like the world on a platter, and I just was like here in the world. You know, you have to work for things, and like, you know, you have to keep that humbleness approach in mind. And I think here I get that, you know, and it helps me stay grounded to my roots, you know. And I think that comes from obviously the situation around, like obviously just being able to be around things, but also validates the people that I'm around, you know, really good people that, you know, not only want the best for me, but like they're gonna push me to be even better than what I think I can be. So I think all of that together is why I enjoy it here, because I know that, you know, a lot of people get that, you know. I be around a lot of people now as I'm going up through the ranks, and it's like, it's just, they're missing that, you know, and you could just tell like they've always just had it like just for them, and like they've always just had certain things, and you know, they talk like, oh, I'm a dog and all this, and it's like, you know, it's not, you're not really, like you say this, but like you don't really live it, you know. And I think being here, it allows me, you know, I don't have to talk about it, you know, I actually live it, so I just have the confidence. So I think all of that together just like kind of cultivates why I love it here, so.
Yeah, you know, and obviously there's a lot of like guys are transferring all the time, there's a lot of NIL money. I'm sure you've been hit up and stuff like that, and you have other options, but you know, I guess kind of going forward, whatever decision you make, like what, you know, why would you choose to stay at Weber State versus go somewhere else? You know?
Well, school, like I think just because I know what I'm gonna get here, and obviously talking to teams, and it's like you don't have to transfer anyway. We know who you are, obviously, and it's like, okay, that's checked, and then it's like, at that point, there's really no reason for me to leave, because it's like my basketball situation is good here, and it's like I feel like I know what I'm gonna get here. There's nothing that I have to like take a chance or roll the dice and risk on, and it's like the risk-reward ratio just doesn't add up, in my opinion. So I think I am a safe person. I am a guy that loves to play it safe. I play the for sure play every time. So I think that's just kind of just exemplifies that in a way. You know, I just kind of know what I'm going to get here. Trust my coaches, because they've gotten me here to this point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, getting into like this draft process with workouts and stuff like that, what would you feel like are maybe some of like the best and worst aspects of the process?
Definitely like the hotel staying. You know, for a minute I was in like hotels from I think like May 7th through like the 21st. And like that might sound like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that sounds great, but like when you get older, it's like that junk whack for real. So I think that's like one of the hardest parts of it. And just obviously like just always doing something, going somewhere. And it's honestly the pre-draft process, like it's a grind. Like like I work hard, but like it's different. Like you work 3 times a day, then it's like you get done with that, then it's like you got to get up the next morning because it starts again, and it's like you never really have time to really let your hair down at all, and it's like it's a grind. So that's probably the toughest things about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you feel like are some of the best aspects of it?
Yeah, I think being around good players, not better players, just being around good players, draft prospects, just being around those type of guys, because it just raises the floor. Obviously, you know, when you're around a room like that, it just makes everyone wants to go harder. I think it just raises the floor from wherever you're at. You know, I think it just like sets the expectations. So you gotta set of just a floor of expectations that you gotta reach. So I think that's like the best part about it. So.
And then just like going forward, you know, have a few workouts planned. You know, like you said, just how do you kind of like mentally prep to go hard all the time?
Yeah. I think, I talked to Jarrell Brantley. He kind of gave me a little bit of this spiel. It's just like, one thing he wished he said he would have did differently is like going into the workouts, he would have just looked at it as like just good work, just getting better, not like thinking about, I got to show them I can do this, show them I can do that.
Yeah.
And I kind of pulled that and took that into my workouts. You know, I don't go in kind of just, oh, I got to show them I can make shots. Like, I don't do all that. I just kind of just go in there and think about like it's good work, you know, and I just, you know, playing and all that, like I just, at this point it's to a level where like, I don't say I don't think about it too much, but it's like, it is like kind of what I do now. So not so much thought about like pressure and like about like, oh, I gotta do this and that. I think I just look at it as like good work, you know, it's like just, that's how I kind of approach it, you know, it's just trying to here to get better and just taking and learning something, you know, taking it back and bringing it back here or something, so.
Yeah. You know, a few more questions, but you know, after all this and stuff, and being able to play against some of these other guys that you see on TV all the time, you know, what do you feel like would really help take your game to that next level after, you know, going through this month-long process?
I think, you know, just improving on what I've already done, continue to just keep improving my shot, you know, reps and stuff. Biggest thing for me though is gonna be my body though. It's just being able to, I guess, fine tune it and like do things that I need to know I need to do. But a lot of it is honestly gaining knowledge. There's a lot of things that I don't know about my body, a lot of things I don't know about nutrition and all this. Like, it's things that I have to get better at with that. I think that's what the biggest thing that I'm gonna have to do is just kind of learn things about that, learn what works best for me, because whatever works best for me now might not work best for the next man, or vice versa. So figure out what works best for me and my body, and just keep proving that, and you know, just be able to be a more consistent shooter. But I'm not too worried about that because I know I can. So.
You know, coming up on the decision whether to stay or go, obviously it's a pretty tough call. What are all the factors that you tend to weigh on both sides for you?
Well, I won't say my decision won't be so hard, but I think that if a team is, you know, willing to invest in me and is able to, I guess, show that and like kind of just prove to me that they like see real value in me and that they can see me improve, then I would stay. But like, if I don't get something that's like if it's like something that I can't turn down or something, then yeah, I would have to stay. But like, if it's something that I think that, you know, I could get again, or I think that it's not like unturned downable or whatever, I would just come back to school and do it again, you know. So I think either way, either whatever decision I make, I think I'm in a really good position. I think I'm in, honestly, a win-win. It's just about me getting the right information and right feedback and just being able to evaluate it at that point and then just seeing what works best. So, yep.
Okay, we'll wrap it up with this, but you know, ideally, like, I think we touched on this before as well, but what type of role do you think you could have on an NBA team?
Yeah, especially being there at the combine, I think I've, you know, definitely, I can bet on this now, and I think it's just being able to be the toughest guy on the floor, you know, high IQ, knowing what's going on the floor. And yeah, I think that's the role I can provide, you know, being versatile as possible, knowing the game, obviously. I think you can't underestimate that in today's game. Positionless basketball, so I could just fill the spot. And I think being the toughest guy on the floor, I think that's what wins. So I think that's what I can provide to any team. You know, I think those things is what I, you know, do at my best. So obviously all the other skill stuff and shooting and all that, that's whatever. But I think the intangibles is what like can make me special in the NBA. You know, just because, you know, everybody, like my coaches and stuff tell me, like, you know, every team's gonna have Harden, every team's gonna have KD. it's about, you know, you proving your value in other areas, kind of. So I think that's what I'm kind of banking on, what will help me be a good pro in the NBA. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.